They're in a place where law and order is supposedly paramount, but the feds have their eyes on multiple county jails following a number of attacks. In 2023, the Department of Justice launched an investigation into county jails in Georgia and South Carolina for serious violence by inmates and staff. Retired Sheriff's Lieutenant Charles Rambo worked at the Fulton County Jail for 12 years. He says it's more violent now than when the jail opened in 1989.
Don't get me wrong, we had our problems, but we did not have deaths to this magnitude in terms of stabbings, homicides, gang-related violence.
And in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty, many of these inmates haven't even had their day in court. In 2022, nearly 70% of people locked up in county jails have yet to be convicted of a crime.
You can't continue to just hold inmates forever. They deserve their day in court according to the Constitution.
At another jail in Georgia, a man who wasn't yet convicted of a crime says he was the target of a vicious attack while a guard stood by and watched.
The former detainee gave investigative reporter Andy Parati video of his attack. He survived, but he's still shaken.
And we want to warn you, this video may be disturbing to watch.
Derrick Cody walks out of his Clayton County cell in July 2023 after he says fellow detainees threatened his life.
They pretty much demanding, telling you, we're gonna stab you up. If you don't come up with a way to give us some money, we're gonna hurt you.
Watch closely. You can see two men with what appear to be shanks or knives in their hands. As Derrick begs correctional officers to open the door, they strike. What are you yelling? What are you saying?
Look, I'm getting stabbed. Just making a gesture, I'm getting stabbed. And that's when he finally opened up the door.
Derrick, who was detained for pending property damage charges, suffered stab wounds to his stomach, leg, and back. Taken to the hospital with a piece of metal still stuck in his body.
I didn't even look. I didn't even want to look. When she pulled it, I told her to go ahead and snatch it out as fast as she can because I don't want to think about the pain.
The day before the attack, Derrick says he got into an argument with a correctional officer about using the phone. He says he felt threatened but didn't think much more about it until he learned about an arrest involving the same officer a few months later. He's former officer Jalen Clausell. This past November, the sheriff's office arrested him for allegedly helping multiple inmates assault a detainee. And it's not the first time a Clayton County jailer has been accused of planning an attack.
Shocking allegations involving a former Clayton County Corrections officer.
John Hollenshed is accused of planning and orchestrating a, quote, vicious attack on an inmate in his custody that he was sworn to protect.
The sheriff's office arrested at least two other jail employees for theft, once in May 2023.
According to the sheriff, Dixon used her position to steal from inmates.
Another officer arrested 2 weeks before Derrick's attack.
A fifth sheriff's office employee has now been arrested in what officials say was an operation to defraud inmates.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was surprised.
Thomas Reynolds is Derrick's attorney and plans to file a lawsuit against the sheriff's office soon.
Why is the sheriff's office liable for what happened to Derrick?
When you see an inmate crying for help, screaming for help, banging on the window for your attention and your assistance and your help because their life is in danger, you've got a duty to respond to that.
We showed the video to Devin Franklin with the Southern Center for Human Rights.
I'm angered. He's not being protected.
The attorney for the civil rights organization says Derrick's attack illustrates the consequences of Georgia's extraordinary incarceration rate. According to the Prison Policy Initiative, Georgia locks up 968 per 100,000 people. Take a look. That's not only the highest in the U.S., it's a higher percentage of people behind bars than any free democratic country on earth. Nearly half of them in local jails.
These are innocent people. Whether they will later be determined to be guilty is a fact that is irrelevant to whether those who are in charge of their safekeeping are upholding their constitutional duties to keep them safe.
Yeah, it's kind of troubling remembering and coming back here.
A sheriff's office responsible for protecting those in its custody, accused of failing to do its job.
It's like, who's gonna protect you? The guards can't protect you. When you step into Clayton County Jail, you already had to have the mindset, I can die in here.
The Clayton County District Attorney's Office has yet to present Deputy Causel's case to a grand jury, and the charges involving the other deputies arrested over the past year are still pending. I reached out to the sheriff multiple times about the video, but he did not respond. In Atlanta, I'm Andy Perotti.
The Southern Center for Human Rights says Georgia can reduce its jail population and attacks like this by eliminating cash bail to reduce court backlogs.
It's something only one state in the country has done, and so far, Illinois has seen some success. A study from Loyola University Chicago analyzed court hearings before and after the Pretrial Fairness Act took effect. It found bond hearings took longer, going from about 5 minutes to about 30 minutes, allowing judges to make more informed decisions on bond conditions. The study also found the prosecution and defense were more likely to agree on bond conditions.